Welcome to Life Esteem, a program committed to delivering information that's important to you and your community. Your hosts are Nathaniel and Patricia Gadsden.
Good morning. Hello, and welcome to Life Esteem. Always great to have you as a viewer. And today we're going to talk education, and education is very, very important, as we know. We have with us Dr. Vernon Carraway, who is an outstanding educator here in Pennsylvania. He's staff at Penn State University, and he's the founder of the Langston Du Bois Institute, which is doing great work. Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
You have an outstanding program, very unique in terms of what you're trying to accomplish. Tell us about your program.
Yeah. That's an excellent question, because it seems to me I'm going through a transformation.
Okay.
Because as I get out here and talk to different administrators, faculty members, and particularly vice presidents of academic affairs, I tend to evolve more and more over the last year. Okay. And what I'm seeing is the main staple of my work is the transition from college to work. And the Langston Du Bois Institute is a program specifically designed for students who are high school or college who are making a transition in their lives. Transition means this. It means that something has ended. And when something has ended, it usually throws all of us into a tailspin. So mine is an innovative, comprehensive college to work training and development firm. And I specialize on students who are making the transition from where they are to where they want to go. And where you are, where you want to go, it does not matter. It will develop, because you will either choose or you will be pushed. Life is just that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you said that. And I think all of us have to come to that realization. And one of the concerns that we have is that too many young people don't seem to be making that connection in their daily lives.
That's right.
We get so disappointed sometimes we go into the high schools or even on college campuses. You think, wait a minute, what are you preparing for? And they think, you're just kind of full of it. But you're saying that if they're not preparing, they're preparing in a different way. Right?
And the thing about it is, Nate, you bring up a fascinating concept, because we're all confused where we have to make life choices. But from high school or college, or if you choose high school to work, it is tough. And no one's teaching our kids this. There are basically 7 phases that, as far as I go through in terms of the Langston Du Bois Institute, that assist students in seeing a picture layout as to what's going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years of their lives. The first phase is called basically dreaming. You've got to have a dream, and we all have dreams. But if you don't turn that dream into a reality, it turns into a nightmare quick. The second phase from the dream is basically a venture, going to school, or going to work, or going to the military, or getting a job. Either way, you're doing something. That's a venture. Then from venture, this is where a lot of our students, high school or college, get stuck. It's called getting organized. Getting organized means you're entering a whole new path and formula of new attitudes and behaviors that you must acquire, whether you like it or not. You have to acquire new skills and new behaviors to get organized. Then from getting organized, and you get that thing down, and that's basically a lot of work, because there's nothing wrong with you staying there as far as getting organized for maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years. Then we moved into as far as making it. Making it means I've finally gotten some credentials, or I got some experience, or I've acquired some as far as a background along the way, and I'm beginning to feel more confident about myself and comparing myself with my peers. Then we move into the next phase as far as making it into it's institutionalized. Like when I think of Pat, or I think of Nate Gadsden, I think of individuals who have and continue to make a difference in person's lives. It's the first thing that comes to your mind. That's called a brand. Institutions call it institutions, for you're institutionalized, but individuals call you a brand. When you say Gadsden, you say Pat, you think TV, you think promotion, you think uplift, you think impact. That's a brand. Then from institution or brand, we move into closing in. Closing in means I'm tired of this now. I need to find something else. And then the last phase, which doesn't have to be, is called dying. Dying is, some persons who've been in the field for a long time, football players experience it all the time. The average NFL football career or lifespan is 1.5 to 3 years, average.
Okay.
But some of us try to stay into football until we're age 40. Not going to happen. You go in young and you finish young most of the times. So, but that's the process. There's 7 steps.
Okay.
And this 7-step process is very much so in your face. But I'm very passionate with it. I'm very stern and firm with it, but I'm also very passionate and holding with it because I know fear is a good motivator.
Yeah. You know, we've actually seen, in fact, we could probably share names and stories about people that we know. They're good people, and they mean well, but, you know, they have not left college, even though they're now 50 years old.
Correct.
They have not left college. In their mind, they think they're still back
That's
there.
correct.
And so the world of work for them has been one odyssey after another, relationships, one odyssey after another. They just are still stuck on that stuff. But, you know,
Right.
it's just what we do. So you're talking about, when you talk about that dying piece, sometimes you just have to let some things go. It's done now.
If you don't, it will push you off.
it will push you off.
Life is that way.
But I like the first step that you said, dream. You gotta have a dream.
You've
Yeah.
got to have a dream.
And that is the foremost way to get people being able to make that
Precisely.
transition
Yes.
and moving forth. And so many young people, and some older people as well, really get lost in that. I was just having a conversation, I guess you
outstanding,
were
Pat.
actually last week with a young lady that, lady that just retired. And she said it was the worst thing she ever did. And this is that dying phase
That's
you're talking
right.
about.
That's right. I like that, Pat. You tied it right in. Because that dying phase is
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah, it is.
And she said she doesn't know why she retired.
Yeah.
For what reason?
She didn't have a plan. She didn't have a
It's a
transition in
transition.
mind.
She
you
didn't have a
know, so-
transition.
yeah.
See, that whole thing about the phases I mentioned, there are 7 phases, but there are multiple transitions that link each phase.
Wow. Okay.
And in that transition, again, my mother said it best. If you aren't busy living, you're busy dying. And
I
she
like
also
that.
says, either you are living or are you just existing? This is where we are. And everyone, young and old, black, white, big, bad, whoever, no one's exempt.
That's right.
It's a thing where in my classes, it's Morgan Freeman said it best. He said he had an interview with a fellow who asked him, what do you think about the changes you made in the past 10 years? And he said something that Clint Eastwood said to him. Clint Eastwood says, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking too much space.
That is powerful.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So you have to live on the edge. Like you ready to move. Man, oh
ready to
man.
move.
So, you know, we do have a serious concern, especially when we start talking about the African American community. Let's concentrate on
Yes.
that. African American men in particular that are opting out of education.
It's my passion.
They're finding themselves in all kinds of, the penal system is just eating us up. Okay.
Yes.
Talk about your work in relationship to African American males.
This is the reason I am here. I came out of high school and I was a pretty good athlete. I was better than most, but I'll just say I was pretty good. And I got a chance to attend Slippery Rock. My coach took me to Slippery Rock. And here I am, an inner city black male, 1969, and I'm going to Slippery